All right, good day, everyone. My name is Jeremy Miller. I am the founder and lead designer of GeoAlchemy Studio, where my focus is regenerative wellness design or conscious wellness design. And my mission is new material structures for the future success of humanity. Prepared a presentation today to share a little bit about what GeoAlchemy Studio is, the work that we're doing, how people work with us, how you collaborate with us, and our unique perspective on design. And so, speaking of that unique perspective, start with a perspective that I've developed on my personal health journey, which is our homes and offices are making us sick. So that's a big statement. May be something you've never considered before. May wonder why I'm making that statement and how I came to that realization. And so a little bit about me. Again, my name is Jeremy Allen Miller, the founder of GeoAlchemy Studio. And GeoAlchemy Studio is really born from a simple realization that environments are shaping our biology. The environments we inhabit are shaping our biology. And I've come to this understanding through 2 decades of study and experience and self-experimentation. Architecture school started that 20 years ago, worked in design, build, construction for 10, 12 years. And then I spent some time living in Peru, living in adobe homes and structures created of natural materials, non-toxic, natural building systems. And I realized when I was living in these homes that my health continued to improve. So, what got me to Peru was a personal health journey. Spent a couple years detoxing from heavy metals and mold toxins, plastics, other environmental toxins. When I was really getting unwell and having all sorts of unexplainable health conditions and not finding any answers in any of the traditional medical routes, I finally connected with a doctor. His name was Dr. Pampa, and his story and journey sounded really similar to mine, what I was experiencing. I connected with him. He took me on as a client. I became his client, and he was my health coach. And he taught me about natural healing and environmental toxins. And as I learned about these aspects of our environment, I realized that the homes that we live in were a key part of this puzzle. Homes that create mold, homes with poor indoor air quality, poor ventilation. And then the more I learn, of course, water quality, many people are familiar with, but also the electrical systems, down to the foundational proportions and orientation of the building, which affects things like natural ventilation and natural light. And as I'll share a little bit later, also resonant frequency and works on the levels of subtle energy. And so, getting out of the United States for a year and a half, living in adobe homes and living in homes made of natural materials, non-toxic materials, I felt my health continue to improve. I was getting better sleep. I was more mentally clear. I noticed that I had more energy. I felt more calm and relaxed throughout the day. And all this led to more energy, more passion, and more desire and drive to create. And it led me to my mission with GeoAlchemy Studio, where I've developed the GeoAlchemy Codex Method. Now, this is a proprietary codex framework that integrates harmonic geometry and proportions with high-performing building systems and regenerative material intelligence. And like I said, I had the firsthand exposure with mold, environmental toxins, poorly engineered structures and infrastructure. And then my time in Peru, combined with some extensive study, led me to this understanding that design is not decoration, it is biological infrastructure for health and thriving. So here's a couple images of me there in Peru. One at Machu Picchu. One of the cool things you'll notice about this image is there are no other people in the background because I got to go one day when Machu Picchu had just opened back up after Peru was under some strikes. And me and my three friends were amongst 6 people that were hiking the mountain that day. It was pretty incredible experience. And then the other image in the stone was this was pretty much in my backyard where I lived. And there were these incredible Inca structures way high up in the mountains. This one was on a mountain referred to as Intihuatana, which was Temple of the Sun. And these incredible structures that had been there, Inca, pre-Inca, And the way that they integrated with the landscape, the way that their orientations align with the movements of the sun and the moon, it had a profound effect in me. And also the Adobe homes. So these are some of those Adobe homes that I lived in and studied at. Took a bio construction workshop with a local architecture firm, architect and engineer, which was really impactful. It was really a great experience over a couple weekends to learn how to design and build with natural materials and actually get your hands in the dirt. And so, as I've developed this GeoAlchemy Codex method and started to look at the landscape, what I've realized is that wellness in real estate is evolving. So, homes and wellness centers, offices, they're no longer just shelters or places to work. They are becoming health performance environments. They can either contribute to our thriving or contribute to our decline. And every project is an opportunity to create value, health infrastructure, to create leadership and the possibility of buildings becoming medicine again, which is what I believe the ancient builders and architects understood. And so as wellness and real estate industry is poised to grow a lot. The market's poised to double over the next 4 years from the research that I've looked at. And the wellness industry as a whole, it's $1 trillion industry. It's huge. And people are looking to understand, what does that mean? Does this mean putting in an air filter or adding a sauna to my home or putting a juice bar or organic restaurant in my new development? And the answer is all those things are really important and really beautiful and really great. And my perspective that I'm going to share with you today is that it goes much deeper. Because the problem with modern buildings, the perspective that I've gained in my personal experience is they're often constructed with toxic materials. They have really poor proportions or unintentional proportions often. And there are systems that tax the body's energy system, and this contributes to dis-ease. So again, this includes toxic materials, lacking coherent proportions and geometry. They could be airtight but not intelligent, have walls that are prone to mold growth, efficient energy systems that are also dysregulating, and as I've experienced personally, low consideration for emotional or nervous system health. And as we've developed modern building systems over the years, I think a lot of stuff's happened really quick. And now there's this opportunity to take a step back and say, wait a minute, the way that we're building is maybe not actually so good for us. And I say this from personal experience of having lived in poor structures and having spent 2 years detoxing and getting my life back from these environmental exposures. And you might ask, where's the proof? Like, show me, tell me, like, where's the proof on this? And so I'll put these links wherever this video gets posted. I'll put these links so you can find them. But indoor air quality and human performance, Harvard University doing studies on this. Mycotoxins, immune, and how they relate to immune, brain, and endocrine function. The health coach that I work with, Dr. Pompa, has done a lot of work to show the effects of this. Again, Harvard studying blue light and circadian rhythm disruption. And there's also studies out there of EMFs causing cellular inflammation, National Library of Medicine. So there are studies out there. It's getting the research is getting done. Maybe not as much as you might expect, but the numbers are out there. The way that we build and the environments that we live in modern times, it's not so good for the human energy system. But that's why there's GeoAlchemy Studio exists. So today I'm introducing the GeoAlchemy Codex Method. And in the GeoAlchemy Codex Method, every detail matters. From the materials that are used to construct the walls, the wall finishes, the framing, the insulation, down to the proportion, orientation, and design of each wall, door, and window or interior detail. GeoAlchemy Codex Design is a proprietary design system that integrates harmonic spatial geometry, high performance building science, and regenerative material intelligence. And this is a new standard for healthy high performance living. This is architecture as medicine. And this photo here is a recently completed project in October of 2025, a Codex home. And what you can see here is a beautiful regenerative landscaping in front of this was a passive Zero, Passive House Zero certified project that was also this exterior cladding is all thermally modified wood. So it's a way to uh, alter the chemical construction of wood without impregnating with chemicals. So these high temperature and heat. So this wood could actually be chipped at the end of its life and go back into your garden bed. It's not going to have to go into a landfill, and that's part of the equation. And also, you could see this is a new structure, but it's also surrounded by these three mature trees. So we were really able to cite it in such a way. My client and friend and builder, collaborator, Blake Compton, we sat down on the site and we had a kind of a meditative experience before we figured out where we were going to put it. And Blake had just taken a compass class and he's like, wait a minute, I want to align this thing with true north. It's like, great. That's one of my principles, orientation. Like we found the one that means something to you. Let's align it with true north. So it's 7 degrees off from the city grid where we're located here. And by doing that and moving it slightly, we were able to preserve these mature trees, which was pretty cool and has a lot of benefits for the structure as well. So the principles, the core principles, harmonic spatial geometry. So the geometry is defined through bespoke codec spatial analysis. This is a complementary questionnaire that leads to a consultation to understand your needs. How do you want to feel in the space? What must the space create for you mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically? And through this comprehensive process of getting to the root of why a client wants to build, building is a big investment. It's a beautiful creative process. This questionnaire gets to the root of the underlying influences and translates this into a codex blueprint for your project. And this blueprint then encodes into every detail from the proportions of the room, doors or windows, to the geometry of each interior element. It's all designed with a harmonic geometric system. And in this, structure is vibration, structure is applied as a harmonic field. And in the research that I've done of the brilliant minds that are encoding some of these incredible mathematics, that when you hit some of these harmonic ratios and numbers, it literally creates a coherent energy field for you to thrive in. And it's the art of harmonic spatial geometry. This is part of the unique artistic and IP of GeoAlchemy Codex Method. On a symbol level, what does this look like? And so this is an example of that Codex Home you saw on the earlier slide, and the darker dashed line saying some of the golden ratio, golden rectangles that are encoded within the structure. So the main living volume and the relationship between the living space and the kitchen dining area, and then the primary proportions of the connector volume. This client wanted a garage. And by using these two smaller volumes and connecting them to the garage, we're also to create this really beautiful courtyard space for community connection and connection to the outdoors. A big sliding glass door that also is encoded with a golden ratio as well. So on a foundational level, this is a way to understand harmonic geometry and proportions. A lot of the way that I apply this is with ratios, which could be length to width to height. So on a simple level, that's a view into harmonic spatial geometry. And then there's also geometric encoding. And so when you think of, if you've ever seen an image of an Egyptian temple and all the hieroglyphs on the walls, or seen they have into ancient Mexican temples, Angkor Wat, temples around the world, there's these encodings within the walls. And sacred geometry, these geometric encodings are QR code for the subconscious mind. So every detail is an opportunity to generate coherence and beauty. And again, my perspective on this is when you use harmonic resonant materials and you encode them into doors or windows or interior design details, you're sending subtle signals to your unconscious mind of coherence and harmony and balance and order. And so the design starts to hold this resonant frequency, which tells your body, I could be safe, I could be relaxed, I'm harmonious. And this, in my perspective, has an incredibly beneficial effect for the physical, mental, and emotional being, namely you, if you're the one that's living in the structure. Here are a couple other examples from Codex Home Project, Sacred Geometry Window Grid. and a inlay detail on a wood beam where we have 108 24-karat gold leaf circles end to end, just like the 108 beads on a mala. And part of the sacred geometry of this number is the relationship to the sun. So there are approximately 108 diameters of the sun between the earth and the sun. So this is a sacred ratio that honors our relationship to the sun. And then gold, and some of what I learned in the ancient Inca cultures is like the tears of the sun. So it's a really beautiful way to honor our relationship to the sun, which I like to call the biggest game in town. Because if we didn't have the sun around, there'd be nothing. It'd be pretty dark. There'd be no plants and likely no us as we know ourselves. Regenerative material intelligence. Next principle. So harmonic spatial geometry, regenerative material intelligence. And so this image here, again, this is recently completed Codex Home project. And what you'll notice about the walls is the color, and this is natural earthen pigments up in the loft. That more reddish tone is a real clay plaster, and then the more golden tone throughout is a natural lime-based plaster. So these don't have any petrochemical-based colorants in them. These are actual mineral colors. And as I've studied material intelligence and worked with different building scientists and building biologists, what I've realized is that when you have an airtight envelope, vapor permeability is really key, and the mineral finishes on the walls are regulating. So utilizing natural mineral-based plasters, paints, and wallboards can create structures that are moisture regulating. What does this mean? Well, if you have a wall that is constructed with paper-faced drywall and it perhaps even has a vinyl wall covering on it, if moisture gets inside that wall or forms on the surface of the wall, it's going to condense. And if that moisture condenses and there's a food source like the paper on the drywall or the wood and a mold spore gets in there, which they're everywhere, they just get out of balance sometimes in a home, that you can get mold growth. And these mycotoxins, as I've shared, you can look in the link, the studies, Dr. Pompa has done a lot of work about communicating this message. These are disruptive to brain health, respiratory health, endocrine functioning. Really not good for the human energy system. Well, these mineral-based paints are moisture regulating where they are when it gets humid in the air, they have the capacity to molecularly bond with the humidity, the H2O molecules in the air to bring them into the mineral and hold on to them in a healthy way that doesn't form condensation. And then when it gets dry, they release them back into the air. It's really cool building science that people have studied over the years. And so this material intelligence really creates walls that regulate. And then there's some really great products inside the walls too, like wool and wood fiber insulation that are designed to be vapor permeable and to dry out. And if moisture gets in the walls, they're designed to relieve that moisture and let it to dry out in a really healthy way. Again, preventing mold, mildew, or other problems that come with moisture. And then in this picture too, you'll see there's really amazing products that have been, I mean, they've been used in Scandinavian countries for a really long time. I think some of the linseed oil paints have been used for several hundred years. And you could look up some of the Viking products. There's a really great company, Earth and Flax, that represents these. And you could get natural wood floors and without having to use petrochemicals like polyurethane, or I'm not sure if polyurethane is petrochemical, but without having to using synthetic chemicals that also off gas. For me, I'll walk into a room and I'll feel it. I'll smell it. I won't feel so well. I'll feel a little cloudy in my head. You could have these really natural linseed oil and wax finishes. So if you're sensitive to chemicals, you're sensitive to these toxin materials, it's a really beautiful way to get a beautiful finish with regenerative material intelligence. And again, these products at the end of their life, you could chip them and you could put them back into the garden bed. They could go back to the earth. They're not going to have to go into the landfill, which is really powerful. And then finally, high performance building systems, the third component of the GeoAlchemy Codex method. This includes high quality water filtration, which the creme de la creme is the Ophora water system, but there's also other great quality water filtration systems. ERV systems, so you have continuous ventilation, so your building is designed to mechanically breathe and bring in filtered fresh air 24/7 under continuous low pressure. This is really important for when you have an airtight building, something that the passive system is really turned into an engineered system that is really brilliant, I think. And then circadian lighting, that could be full spectrum during the day, but red light at night. Pro tip, if you're having a hard time getting a hand on red light bulbs, you can go to your local hardware store and pick up a appliance light bulb that might go like in your oven, and you can get a great low red light incandescent light. I've got them in all the lamps in my home, and it's just really great for a more relaxed, restful environment in the evening. Then also electrical systems. So electrical energy, there's some great building biologists that we collaborate with, and you can map out everything from geopathic stress to the electromagnetic frequencies in your house. So depending on clients' needs, we can create you an EMF shielded bedroom. We can do a whole house energy power conditioning system. This is especially important if you have a solar system and you're operating between the different types of electrical currents. These conditioning systems protect you from electromagnetic fields, which again, we've shown there's studies that show these cause cellular inflammation. And so if you want to protect yourself from there, there's a way to condition your power. It also makes your appliances run smoother and last longer while protecting you from these electromagnetic fields that disrupt the body. So that's the third component, high performance building systems. So why this matters now? So again, this unique perspective based on my personal experience, the environment is making people sick. And people are also desiring healthy, high performance homes, recognizing that luxury is no longer just about a look or the view, it must be encoded into the structure itself. Chronic illness is rising. My experience with Dr. Pompa taught me this, and a lot of this can be fixed with the home. When I went out to see Dr. Pompa and record a podcast with him a couple weeks ago, he reminded me of this. It was something that I kind of drifted away as I got healthier, but he reminded me, and this is a guy whose organization helps thousands of people a year recover from unexplainable illnesses. And he's like, Jeremy, you are never going to get well unless you control the health of your environment, meaning your home or your workspace. If you fix the home or office, you fix 90% of people's problems. And that's from Dr. Daniel Pompa, who transformed my life. And so this is why it matters. Families are seeking solutions, developers are seeking differentiation, and wellness and real estate truly is the next frontier. And so this way of building, this way of designing, it can cost more, could be more materials, could be more labor intensive, but it is an investment in your health and your wellness. And there's different tiers. You don't have to go to the top tiers. There's ways you can make an impact without having to spend 40% more. There's things you can do that might increase the budget by 10%, but really move the needle and make some shifts in your health, your quality of life. And to make this more accessible and reachable and achievable, I'm really excited to announce that I've developed a partnership with an incredible tiny home company, Great Lakes Tiny Homes, based out of Ohio, which where I'm located currently. And this spring and summer, we are launching the Codex Tiny Home line. All the benefits of a Codex home, airtight, vapor permeable, harmonic geometry, continuous ventilation, high performance building systems, filtered water, you name it. Upgrade options, of course, available. And really excited because Great Lakes Tiny Homes has been building tiny homes for years. They've never got a call back. They've got incredible commitment to craftsmanship, quality, and transparency. And so here's what we're offering, and I'm very excited to share these with you. So the first line, the first initial Codex Tiny Home line models that we are offering, here they are, small, medium, and large. So three tiers, small, around 150 square feet, the medium 260, and the large 360 with a front porch. So here are the renderings. And this is the first one, the Golden Traveler. So this you could think of as a pull-behind trailer for all your healthy travel adventures. This is narrow enough that you don't need a wide load permit, and it's harmonic proportions, phi-coded, golden ratio scaling, airtight, permeable walls, non-toxic finishes, high performance building envelope, high performance windows and doors designed to resist condensation. It's got a beautiful sleeping loft with a stargazer skylight above it so you could sleep below the stars. We'll have continuous ventilation, filtered water, so you're removing all the heavy metals, plastics, and all the various particles that are in our water supply today. So your skin could be healthy and radiant and really healthy for your hair as well. and option for EMF shielding, and really designed to get you out in nature and restore, to be on the road, a really nice work area. I'll show you the floor plan here. Again, it's small, it's compact, it's tight, and it's got a little bathroom, shower, and water closet. Beautiful, efficient kitchen. Option to get a noise-free refrigerator. You know, you're sometimes sleeping in these small spaces, and you get so peaceful out in the middle of nature, and then the refrigerator kicks on. So, option for compressor-free refrigeration, which allows you to even have a more quiet and EMF-safe environment. It's a really nice area where you can work and sit and create and be in your creative mode on the go, whether you're in a tiny home community or an RV park or want to take it out into the wilderness anywhere you've got electric and water hookups. Big sliding glass door, lots of natural light, and windows positioned to allow for really nice cross ventilation. Number two, the Detox Deluxe. This is the one that I plan on getting and taking on the road this spring and summer. And this is your detox retreat anywhere, anytime. Unplug from a harmful environment, restore coherence to your body. So this one has the same harmonic proportions, airtight, permeable walls, non-toxic finishes. The exciting thing about this one is also has an infrared sauna in the base model, which we'll be looking out this window you see on the edge. Again, all of these two we're using timber or we're using arbor wood, thermally modified wood siding, and option for timber HP wood fiber insulation or the formaldehyde-free rock wool. We're treating the walls with the building biologist George Swanson's proprietary clay and biogrit primer to prevent your wood from condensating into the walls and causing mold issues. We're using Roma Bio paints for the base options, mineral-based paints that are going to healthily regulate moisture in the interior environment. This one's large enough that it'll have a full ERV, ductless ERV. There'll also be a soaking tub, same filtered shower head, ultra quiet refrigerator, and a skylight over the soaking tub so you can sit and gaze at the stars. I'm going to share the plan on this one. This one's right around 260 square feet, and this is the one that I'm planning on taking on the road. It's going to have a studio loft. Again, the harmonic proportions for the bathing area and the interior geometry, outside golden ratio, inside golden ratio. And this one has a stepped up bed, which has some beautiful drawer storage built in and a stowaway table. So the stepped up drawer storage doubles as a really nice seating area with an expandable table, a couple folding chairs. You can sit down and have a meal with up to 4 people. It's going to have a convection air fryer oven, a little dishwasher built into it for your convenience, and really designed to detox and unplug. So, if you want to get out into nature, one of the things I noticed is that, you get out into nature but you're not in nature all the time. You're going to be spending a lot of time, at least 8 hours, probably sleeping in the cabin. And is that cabin non-toxic? Is it really healthy for you? So these are going to be great for someone that wants to create a wellness retreat. So you could take 6 of these, pull them up, get your water and electric hookups, and really create an area for people to come detox, heal, and rest and rejuvenate while all being in this beautiful, coherent field geometry. So that's the Detox Deluxe. And then the large, which is the Dark Room Plus, which is your mobile darkroom retreat. Learned about darkroom retreats when I was in Peru, and the body's amazing natural capacity to heal when you put it in these type of environments. So this one is designed with all the same components and materials as the last. And it's also designed where blackout windows to where you can create a suite where you can host your own mini darkroom retreat. So, darkroom retreat, lots of incredible benefits. I've heard stories of people's teeth repairing spontaneously from doing week-long darkroom retreats, and also just really restorative if you're a sensitive sleeper to get in the well-insulated, acoustically quiet environment walls and completely black out everything, even just for the night, so you can get a really beautiful restorative night of sleep. And here's the plan on this one. It's got a front porch, and then as you come in through the double doors, nice kitchenette, kitchen area, Open sloped ceiling over the living area, and then a flat ceiling over the bathroom and bedroom with a mechanical space, full queen size bed, bathroom, which could also be optioned out to a sauna with a small shower if you prefer. And there's upgrade options on all these. It could be EMF shielded, the entire structure or the bedroom. And then the water closet and a nice pull out clothes closet as well. So ample room for your clothing and storage. So I'm excited to do darkroom retreat in one of these as well. And so that's some of the GeoAlchemy Studio Codex Method, the GeoAlchemy Codex Method. I hope you found this informative. If you have questions, would love to connect with you. And how would you connect with us? Well, this spring and summer, so this spring we're doing the pre-launch, taking pre-sale orders. You could put down a deposit to secure your Codex Tiny Home. We're building the initial units April to May, and then full production will start in June. And you could reserve your spot by putting down a deposit. And also visit GeoAlchemy Studio, like I said, to get the complimentary Codex Spatial Diagnostic series of questions designed to understand your project, your vision, whether you're working with an existing space or looking for consulting on a wellness center or strategic alliance for spatial positioning for wellness and real estate. So you can find me there at www.geoalchemy.studio or on Instagram at geoalchemy.studio. And for the tiny homes, you can look for GeoAlchemy Studio Codex Tiny Homes and also Great Lakes Tiny Home. And you'll find the Codex Home there. And you'll be able to get an order, get on a consultation, learn more about the product, the options. And also if you want and you're say, hey, this sounds great, but like those three options that you provide, I actually want something a little different. Don't worry, we could design you a custom home too. These are just the three initial offerings to show you what's possible and the system. And you could probably find me this summer somewhere in one of those detox deluxes traveling around the country if you want to come out and check it out and see the finishes for yourself, see the quality, see the performance. And so I look forward to connecting with you. Again, this is Jeremy Miller, founder of GeoAlchemy Studio. You can find me at geoalchemy.studio, GeoAlchemy Studio on Instagram. And you could also probably find a recent video I did with Christina Ransberry talking about GeoAlchemy Studio with her lovely consulting, resilient design program. So I look forward to connecting with you and hearing from you. So thanks for watching, and we'll be in touch.